Greetings fellas, welcome to the long-awaited Blade guide after 2 weeks of testing. So, well, it seems that Clara has been finally out DPS'd by Blade, who is currently the best destruction damage dealer in the game. So as you all already know, Blade has terrifying healing abilities every time he uses a follow-up attack and depending on when you use your ultimate. So, if you have a Clara in your arsenal, you might want to skip Blade because Clara is good enough in clearing all MoC stages at this current point in time, as well as Xianzhou. Let's get into the review. Blade's best light cone is definitely his signature light cone, the unreachable side. At super imposition 1, still strong enough, but in every super imposition level, he will gain a crit rate and max HP bonus of 3% and damage increased by 4%. However, if you don't have this light cone, you can use Arlen's light cone, which is a secret vow, which is still quite strong in my opinion. However, you need to get S5 on this to make this work properly. Another light cone is Mutual Demise, which is a 3-star light cone, which is pretty good on Blade too. Now, for his traces, we have seen that basic attack and skill are the most consistent and most frequent amount of damage dealing, as well as talent if you have it more at E6. However, if you don't have E6, then your main source of damage will be Hellscape and Shard Sword, or Forest of Swords, depending. So at E6, you want to use an Inert Salsoto, and an E4 or less, you definitely want to use Rutilant Arena. So it is very important to upgrade all of these traces here, as this gives a very positive effect on Blade's performance on the battlefield. Now we will talk about Vita Infinita. This is one of the best abilities for Destruction Unit. If his HP gets lower than 50%, incoming healing increases by 20%. So first route to solo MoC in all-in-one bonus ability. Well done. Never-ending deaths. If Blade hits a weakened broken enemy after using the Forest of Swords, he will restore HP. This is only good if you're against wind weakness enemies, so not good if you're against the deer, for example, who doesn't have wind weakness. And for Cyclone of Destruction, his other bonus ability, which gives him a straight up follow-up attack increase. So very good damaging traces. And his sub stats and his sub traces notes, 5 out of 5 stars from me. Well done. Since Effect Rest is definitely the best one in his kit, as well as HP for survival and damage dealing, and crit rate, which gives him a better chance of using crit damage relics. Well done. Very beautiful start bonuses here. So my advice is to unlock all of them all in one go. It is just as good as Locha's traces, where we have defense, attack, and HP. However, I prefer more defense than attack, and you already know the reason why. Now for his traces is done. Now we'll go for the relics. Relics wise, 4-piece Longevous Disciple is the best, but his 99% ideal choice would be 2-piece Longevous Disciple and 2-piece Windset, which is Eagle of Twilight Line. If you have God Rule crit rate starts, but only 0.01% of the population have God Rule crits on their pieces, so definitely this is not a very feasible option. So it is always a better option to go for the Longevous Disciple, but only if you have God Rule crit rates, then by all means go for 2-piece Longevous Disciple, 2-piece Eagle of Twilight Line, so you get extra wind damage bonus. When building your stats, it all depends on the Eidolons you have. For example, I have an Eidolon 2 which increases his crit rate by 15%, so the minimum amount of crit rate Blade needs is 69%, and I have fulfilled this requirement. So by gaining 2 stacks from Longevous Disciple and definitely getting hit, my crit rate will go all the way to 100%, and using skill, more than 100% by the way. And crit damage is good to have at least like 130 to 150%, or you can go even more. However, bear in mind that crit damage starts and its level ups are quite rare in beasts. So you definitely want to focus on your crit rate to 100% first, then only you will focus on your crit damage. Now for the pieces here, the two piece here is pretty much situational. You can go for Rutilant Arena at E5 and less, and Inner Salsoto at E6. However, since I'm at E4, I will be using Rutilant Arena, as this gives him extra basic attack damage and skill damage. And this is where his main source of damage comes from in E4. However, in E6, his Inner Salsoto will be slightly better than Rutilant Arena because he's doing more follow-up attacks, and more follow-up attacks means more ultimate energy. So that means Inner Salsoto will beat Rutilant Arena in E6. There's another two relic stats that I like to talk about here, and that is Celestial Differentiator. If let's say you have God Roll crit rate stats and you don't care about your skill damage or your ultimate damage and you just want to focus on crit damage instead, that is totally fine. However, not recommended from me and from my opinion. However, this might work for some people. And the other one is Fleet of the Ageless, which is essential for soloing MoCs and soloing a simulated universe. This piece here is basically Blade's normal gameplay relic slots. So normal gameplay means he will have a healer and more support characters. But however, if Blade is doing a solo run, it is a completely different perspective here. Now we are talking about Fleet of the Ageless, we are talking about putting defense percentage into our kit. But however, before going into the solo setup, let's go into the classic and general setup. So this means we have HP percentage here and crit damage percentage here, as well as the wind damage boost and a HP percentage rope. Now, the main reason why people are running speed is because they have a 135 speed blade and a 134 speed Bronya. However, this is not my playstyle, but it does deal more damage than a 97 speed blade and a Bronya over 134 speed. However, I prefer optimizing my supports more, so Blade will be using a HP percentage feat so that Bronya will use a skill and then Blade will follow Bronya's speed. But then again, it is your choice of playstyle. It's not wrong anyway. Then we have a crit damage here. When I tested HP percentage, it was doing way less damage than the crit damage. However, it gives you more survivability, yes. But the thing is, Blade's survivability comes in the form of defense more than HP percentage. And I'll tell you why in my solo runs. I've already proven it in my past replays and my past uploads. Okay, and then for your sphere, wind damage boost is doing 4% more damage than a HP percentage sphere. And that is what I tested out from my Fleet of the Ageless. Definitely you want to use a wind damage boost if you want more damage. However, if you want more survivability as well as higher 50% HP thresholds, then you use a HP percentage sphere. And then for your link rope, it will always be HP percentage. Partly the reason why I use HP percentage here is because think of it like a Sele, where Sele uses attack percentage here and attack percentage here. Same concept. Sele is using attack percentage here is because she is using too many skill points if she moves too fast. Blade is losing too much HP when he uses the speed boot. However, Locha can mitigate this as well as Natasha's skill. And Natasha's skill works like a disciplinary flicker. which is a blessing found in simulated universe, that every time you get damaged, you will heal on the same turn. However, personal choice again, nothing wrong. I still follow my own principles of using HP percentage on my feet. And now for the solo run, this thing gets really interesting. So for the solo run, you want to focus on defense percentage substats as well as a higher effect rest. So I've saved one headpiece for Blade here so he can use a solo setup, and higher effect rest is always important on your substats. Effect rest is more important in a solo Blade than a team Blade. And for team Blade, you want to focus more on HP percentage substats or speed substats depending on what you want. But for solo Blade, it will be defense percentage and effect rest. Since Locha and Natasha and Bronya can already heal and remove debuff on Blade, so effect rest is not really needed in a team Blade. However, in a solo Blade, effect rest is very important. So my Blade can go up to 73% effect rest, just saying. So if I have a defense body here, which I normally swap in place of crit damage, now Blade will have like a 68.7 here, and then if I use another Fleet of the Ageless from Natasha, this is normally what I do for my solo runs. Now Blade will have 73% effect rest, and this is how I was able to solo MoC 10 without any problem. 80% effect rest seems good, but 73% seems fairly consistent, but it doesn't mean that you're immune to Kafka's debuffs, so bear that in mind. So this is a solo Blade where he focuses on defense percentage in place of HP, because defense percentage scales higher than HP percentage in terms of survivability exponentially, just to let you know, not linearly. So that's why defense is such a great place for Blade. And using Fleet of the Ageless, I'm getting even more HP percentage, and using a defense body, I'm getting 1.3k or 1.4k defense on rounded value. So very good for Blade. This is a solo setup, by the way. So in a solo setup, it doesn't really matter if you have low crit rate and low crit damage. The only thing that matters is just that your effect rest and your defense is up to speed. Keep that in mind. And for Eidolons, Blades E1 means that it's an enhanced ultimate. It's a pay to win enhanced ultimate. So basically, you get more damage, and then when you use an ultimate, it deals more damage. That's pretty much it. E2 is basically Hellscape state, so that means skill. And when you use a skill, you get a 15% increased crit rate, straight up bonus. Well done. This and E2 actually helps you solve a lot of relic problems and allows you to invest into more offensive or defensive stats like defense percentage and crit damage. So well done. Whoever made E2 into this game, well done. E3, basically more damage from your ultimate and talent. So I'm seeing more use of Inner Sasotho here. However, his main source of damage still lies in his basic attack and skill. So you still want to use a Rutilant Arena even though if you have E3. E4, basically the enabler that allows you to solo MoCs and solo Memory of Xianzhou without any problem, as well as Simulator Universe in some aspects. But in Simulator Universe, E0 is good enough. I tried E0 already and it works. However, E4, you can solo MoC now because Blade gets the HP increase stack up to 2 times whenever Blade uses his ultimate, so basically resets to 50%. Well done. And every time he resets, he will get 2 times of max HP 20% stack, so that means 40% max HP for the rest of the entire battle. Well done. 5 basically not unlocked, so I can't see anything yet. But now your Rutilant Arena comes more to use. E6 allows you to get one stack less on your follow-up charge. And by the way, follow-up charge from 5 to 4 points. So that means you basically get more use for healing and survivability as well as more offensive capability. And basically, the more Eidolons, the more damage. And E2 gives a very strong bonus as well as E4 on your overall DPS. Well done, whoever designed the Eidolons is a very much pay to win character. However, E0 is good enough, and I recommend you just sticking to E0 and S1 on your Lycoon, since Blade can clear every content like this, and I've already tried it in my previous runs. So the way how Blade works is that every time he uses a skill and every time he uses an enhanced basic attack, he will reduce his HP, and if not enough HP, reduce to 1 HP only. However, there's a catch. If you use the ultimate, you can already reset to 50% HP. So that means 1 HP to 50% HP. So the most ideal time to use the ultimate is when you have 4 out of 5 stacks or 3 out of 4 stacks. And that is the best time to use the ultimate, since you're getting so much damage during those turns and you're recovering HP. And then guess what? Whenever the enemy attacks you again, or you use another enhanced basic attack or use a skill, then you will reach 4 or 5 stacks depending on your Eidolons, and you launch a follow-up attack. And this means you will immediately recover more than 50% HP, probably around 65% HP if I'm not wrong. And this is the most ideal time to use your ultimate. Well done, whoever designed this kit. So, is Blade a really must pull? I would say no if you have a Clara. But if you don't have a Clara or don't have another damage dealer, you are pretty much forced to pull Blade. That's what I want to say. Okay, and then we will go to the teams here in Forgotten Hall. For example, MoC 10, I'm using a Blade team like this. On any team setup 1 or 2, it works. Alright, so Blade, Locha, or Natasha, as well as a Silver Wolf and Bronya. Okay, there are 2 main playstyles for this type of team. Firstly is that Silver Wolf goes first, then Blade, then Bronya, then your healer. Basically what this does is that Blade will move faster than Bronya, and then Bronya will support Blade. And this gives Blade essentially 2 or 4 more times depending on how fast Bronya is. At 134 speed, naturally Blade will be moving 4 times in the same turn. However, this is quite intensive on the damage dealer, which is Blade, and the support characters are too strained on doing that. So if the support characters, let's say, had 25% HP on like Silver Wolf and Bronya, and Locha needs to heal one of them at that time, the strategy will pretty much fail. Unless you have like another healer or you have an auto heal ready, then this is where it can help. However, this is not my playstyle. And what is my playstyle currently? I have Blade, who's the slowest in the team, having 101 speed or 97 speed depending on my relic choice. If I use my main team setup, that means I'm having a 97 speed Blade. From Rutilan also. I'll just go back to my team Blade setup, and then we will now see that there's a 97 speed Blade. And so coming back to the main point, this is where Blade functions best in a 4-man team, and this is still 97 speed. So my Blade is at 97 speed, and then Bronya will be the second fastest in the team, The fastest one will be Silver Wolf. That means she will apply the debuffs, set the defense down, and all type effect rest down. And then Bronya will start to support Blade, and then Blade will follow Bronya's speed. And then that way Blade can get the bonuses from Silver Wolf and from Bronya. And then the healer can be any speed you want, but preferably 134 speed is the best for me. So here we go. This is one of the teams I normally use in my MoCs. For your support tuning, you definitely want to replace Fleet of the Ageless with a Broken Kill, and this gives you more survivability in terms of effect rest in Bronya's kit, as well as more crit damage, which Blade uses more efficiently over the attack buff that Fleet of the Ageless provides. And now that Bronya is the main enabler of the team, it's very important for her to stack at least 50% effect rest, which I'm currently lacking. But don't worry, I still have the Tracers here, so good for me. I still have another second chance. However, for Bronya, you want to stack more effect rest since this enables Blade more smoothly, as well as Bronya, so that you don't have to heal Silver Wolf just because of her debuff on imprisonment she currently has. And as for your healer, you definitely want to use Broken Kill or definitely a Fleet of the Ageless, depending on the healer itself. So for Natasha, you probably best to stick with Fleet of the Ageless because she is better at using HP percentage and her kit skills on that. And for Locha, you definitely want Broken Kill instead. And for my main support relic pieces, you can use the Messenger Traversing Hackerspace or a Eagle of a Twilight Line. So this is pretty much personal choice, but I prefer Eagle of Twilight Line. Why so? Because it gives you turn interruption, and this allows everyone to be a mini Ting Yun in a way with dance. Since dance does the same thing, but only for all characters, but Eagle of Twilight Line only for the current character who equips this. So definitely I'm sticking with Eagle of Twilight Line. However, Messenger Traversing Hackerspace is much more efficient to farm, and definitely stick with that for the start of the game and during the early stages of the farming. Since you're farming Longevous Disciple for Blade anyway, so that's the best step for you to have at the current moment. However, for more experienced players and people who have too much time in the game and people who want to master something new that is too difficult at the current moment, use Eagle of Twilight Line. However, this is highly experimental and it works wonders if you can master it well. And the problem with Eagle of Twilight Line is when you have ultimate and is full energy at the support character's current turn, this is probably the worst efficiency of all. So definitely do keep that in mind. So whenever your character turn begins, make sure that your ultimate is not even 100%, maybe like 99% is good enough, so that this maximizes the efficiency. So depending on how your team is on team 1, you will use Natasha or Locha on one of the slots here. So this is a pretty much hyper carry Blade team. We have a team like this, and if you don't have a Silver Wolf, you can also use Ting Yun. However, Ting Yun is more towards the support enabler side rather than the DPS enabler side. So that means Ting Yun will be using her ultimate on either Blade or Natasha, and then Natasha can either heal or Blade can heal or get more damage stacks, more follow-up stacks. So this means that Ting Yun is more of a support enabler. However, in most cases, Silver Wolf is going to be better for you and you're going to deal more damage. And when I tested this team out, I feel pretty confident on the field, so very, very good. I can recommend this team. Even with Natasha is good enough. However, Lynx and Fushan will come in pretty much later, and I will see the development of that. That's the guide for you. Cheers!